So we're definitely getting more
becoming more
battle-weary.
We're becoming more jaded.
Yeah.
Jay did. How's that water, Jay?
It's very good. Very watery.
It looks very cold.
Yeah, like that. It looked like it got drinking from, or poured from a glacier into your bottle.
Yeah.
Actually, are you a cold or warm water person?
Like cool water.
Cool water?
If it's too cold, it hurts my teeth. You know?
You're like my dad. My dad likes room temperature water and actively dislikes cold water.
No. I like cool water. Cool water. You know, you let the tap run for 10 seconds.
My friend, I was at my friend's place.
We're missing out on great content here.
He's recording.
This is making it in.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, of
that's
course.
why I
This is-
asked the question. My
Mark
friend,
Rumble Weaves, my name's Cole. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now
Yeah,
we
you
keep
know
going.
the drill. We're on 10 episodes in. Yeah.
my friend asked me if I wanted water, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So he comes back with like the warmest bottled water I have ever had, and I'm like, thanks, I guess.
That's not
between my legs.
I kept this in my back pocket for you, Jay. That's not a very good friend move. I'm going to be honest with you.
Been warming it up.
Yeah.
You ever meet those weird... I know, Jay, you're not particularly a beer guy, but Cole, you ever meet someone who drinks, prefers warm beer or claims to?
Yeah. I've heard of that before. I mean, I'm fine with beer at if it's like in your basement and it's cool, that's about the warmest
cool.
I can take it. But of course, I want it out of the fridge.
But if it's like sitting in the sun on a hot day,
no, it tastes flat. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also a cold water boy, and my wife Sana will literally not drink water from the tap because it's not cold enough.
Yeah. No, I wish I could. It's my teeth. It's my sensitive baby teeth.
This episode brought to you by Sensodyne.
I gotta pick up a new thing of Sensodyne. I've been using
Big old
regular.
tube.
Been using regular toothpaste lately, and it just ain't doing it.
Ain't cutting it.
Is Sensodyne a thing everywhere? Like, it's for sensitive teeth.
Yeah.
People, if you don't know,
It's got to be, right? Yeah.
Yeah. This episode, 110.
Mario Crumble Weebs.
My name is Cole. His
Mario
name is
Crumble
Mike.
Weebs.
His name is Jay.
Mike.
We like anime, and this is episode 110.
This is episode 110 of the Anime Protagonist podcast. On this week's episode, I mean, we're in the episode now. Do I need to? Yeah, I still do. We're doing a review retrospective. The 2023 celebrations continue in the new year with a review retrospective. So we're just going to kind of go through the reviews that we did last year. We did a lot. We did 12 whole reviews last year.
Yeah.
Breaking news, Cole.
Yes.
When we reviewed this list that I created, we were wrong.
Oh,
we did 13 reviews somehow.
Oh my God. How did that even happen?
I don't know. Too powerful.
Just too strong.
We'll probably, we're not talking about manga, by the way. We're only talking about the anime reviews. We'll probably save manga for another week. So stay tuned for manga.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's not that we totally forgot manga was a thing that we review.
Yeah.
And on this week's episode, we're also reviewing a manga, speaking of which. We're reviewing Chain Soldier in celebration of the anime being released, I suppose. Did you guys watch the first episode? It just came out.
I'm going to save that for the review.
Okay.
I guess that's coming up soon, right?
Yeah.
But
We're basically going to be jumping into the review. This is kind of the segue into it. Jay, have you watched it yet?
I'm kind of behind on seasonal anime right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean
it
season just started.
Yeah.
Half the shows haven't even aired yet. More than half of them.
Yeah, there's only 2 shows that I'm interested in that have aired.
All the high dive shows I haven't seen yet. I've seen all the Crunchyroll ones that I want to watch though.
So you're not behind on seasonal anime, in other words.
He's a little bit behind. I mean, this is Jay we're talking about.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. So we're gonna just jump into the Chain Soldier manga review, but we had a brief, quick meeting before starting to record the episode. And we've come to a conclusion that perhaps our rating system was a little
outdated.
What was the word Jay used? Wooden bull crap,
stupid, dumb,
terrible, I think.
Yeah,
a little outdated.
Jay kind of went on Jay went on a profanity laden
tirade
outburst. Yeah,
it was on it, listeners. It was actually kind of scary.
It was, but also hot a little bit.
A little bit.
Well,
yeah. We'll talk about that in the review, the whole aspect of Jay dominating us.
So do we want to reveal the new rating system, or do we just kind of want to organically see where this takes us?
Let's organically see where this takes us.
Yeah, I like that. Reveal them as we go.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
It's still ultimately, well, I mean, it's kind of still a 5-point scale, but maybe there's a little more meat on them bones now. Speaking of meat on them bones, I don't know. I suggested this manga, right?
Yes,
so it's my
you
job.
Did, yep.
Yeah, it's my job to say what it's about.
And what manga is it?
It's Chain Soldier. I've said it a few times. Yeah. Hold on. It
has a one episode is out, and I guess probably 2 by the time this comes out. It'll be out on High Dive. You can watch those if you want to watch a nice little ecchi action romp. Bit of comedy in there too, I would say.
Yeah. If you have that Step on Me,
definitely very strong in the Step on Me energy, because it's literally about, as Cole's going to explain.
Okay, I'm just gonna go over the synopsis as per our friends over at AniList.
Yeah, and people, don't worry, we're not gonna spoil. We're only gonna talk the first volume, which is gonna be like
chapters 1 through 5.
There's not it's not a ton of spoilers
first
here.
5 chapters. Okay, so decades ago, gates to an otherworldly and dangerous dimension known as Mato, the Demon City, appeared across Japan. Those who partook in the peaches growing there gained unique abilities, but only if they're goyles. Why does it say goyles? It says girl.
I don't think it does. It says girls.
When down in the dumps, high school boy Yuki Wakura finds himself caught up in the gate. He's saved by Kyoka Uzen.
Good job.
You know, Cole, when I read these like descriptions, I usually just leave the names out, because like they don't need to be in there.
Well, I mean, it's
they don't help.
Listen,
okay.
I'm Ron Burgundy,
okay.
The beautiful commander of the 7th Squad of the Demon Defense Force, who orders him to become her slave.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's an ecchi action romp, as Mike put it. So how does this get started? Like, who is our main character? What is he?
I don't know his name, but he's just like kind of your average. He's your typical protagonist, I would say.
He's your typical protagonist, but I do like
go ahead.
The whole idea of kind of the gender reversal in this. Like, the females are kind of more of the take charge people in this story.
It's very like matriarchal world.
Society.
Yeah. They kind of explain it how like the world was how it is now, where it's patriarchal, and then since these peaches that give you superpowers can only be eaten by women, all of a sudden women reverse that dynamic, and now they're on top, kind of thing. Yeah.
And our main character is kind of he's really good at like home economics skills, is how I'll describe it.
He's very good like housekeeper.
Sewing. Yeah. He gets sucked into the like evil dimension.
Mato, which I kind of like, because it's sort of like an isekai situation, but they can come back.
Yeah, they can come and go as they please.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting concept.
And he runs into our heroine of the story,
Kyoka,
who is the commander of one of the divisions of the like pseudo military thing that fights these monsters that are in Mato. And blah blah blah, he becomes her slave,
her soldier,
her chain soldier. And he becomes like this super powered like monster thing,
monster dog
man with robot monster.
It's very Super Sentai-y.
Yeah.
Kind of Power Ranger looking.
Yeah, I do like his design. Well, I mean, okay, first off, let me just gush about this. The character designs in these,
they're great.
Top notch.
Yeah,
they're great. Yeah. And I will say too that I really enjoy like the art style of this. It's very simple, but it's so clean. You know what I mean? Like maybe I just read too much like edgy seinen. But like this is so clean and crisp that it's like almost like bubblegum. If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's nice.
It's like too sweet. Not too sweet, because I really like the art in this, because you think you're coming into this and it's just gonna be like, okay, we're gonna see lots of
jiggly bits
parts.
I was pleasantly surprised how little ecchi there actually is, because I think it's gonna ramp up if I had to guess. But
yes and no.
Yeah,
I mean,
they kind of contain it in a nice way, I think, and that's
like the whole ecchi concept in this comes as a result of
Kyoka's power.
What's her name? Kyoka's power, where she has to reward her chained soldier proportionately based on how hard he works, and it's based on his like latent desires, and he's a teenage boy. So what do you think he desires?
What do you think he desires?
Of this beautiful woman who he's enslaved to. Yeah.
But they make it work, like, because in this, I think it was the second chapter where he does something and he's expecting, like, and
then
awesome
she gives him a pat on the head.
A pat on the head and a candy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, I didn't work that hard. So it's like it's a unique concept, I guess, in a weird way. It makes the ecchi make sense.
And I think the power is like it's really unique. But it's a good conduit for getting to that end, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes it feel like less out of place, because sometimes the thing that throws me off with ecchi is it'll just be like there for literally no reason, and at least like there's a reason for this and it makes sense, because like I do another thing, like I think Jay was kind of getting to a little bit, is I enjoy the powers in this, like the power system, because like every power has like a little bit of a drawback, and so her drawback is that when her soldier does something, she has to reward them proportionally, right? Or like there's a girl who gets big and then she can only do it, the bigger she gets, the harder it is to maintain. It's kind of a neat little, it's simple, but you understand it, and
it feels balanced.
It works.
Like
it
like
does.
If she had to, or if she had the ability to just turn everyone into a soldier with no drawbacks, then why wouldn't she just do that, right?
So like what would you say like are influences on this manga? Where do you think? It's tough. It's unique. Like I asked that question and now I think know. Like I don't really know what it would be working off of.
Do you want me to read you the recommendations off AniList?
Yeah, sure. If you got them there.
I feel like I don't know much of this stuff, but you guys might agree or disagree. The first one's Akame ga Kill.
That makes sense. It's the same author. So
okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Sugumomo, I think, Cole, we've checked that out.
Yeah, Sugumomo would be the same kind of like ecchi superpower. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sugumomo. Yeah. Makes sense.
What about Highschool DxD?
I think that also makes sense. It's about like a guy that kind of like has those latent perverted desires that gets introduced to this like new world of superpowered girls.
Okay. So yeah, it checks out then. Okay. So those ones, and Darling in the Franxx and Ayakashi Triangle are like the last two there.
Darling in the Franxx.
I feel like Darling in the Franxx starts to get a little reachy.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch.
I think it makes sense in spirit a little bit, because it does have like that edgy element. It is a little more edgy as well. Like there's kind of like things that they're trying to kill and they have to use the horny powers to beat them. And you know what I mean? Like the threads are there in a little bit, but
I'd like to review Darling in the Franxx again.
So would I. You know what? I have thoughts on Darling in the Franxx, and I need to get them out.
Time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I'd be interested.
The other show that I think like is at least similar to it that comes to mind, at least on the manga side, is Twin Star Exorcists. It's kind of like these exorcists that go to like another world that they can like flip flop between. They fight against these monsters. Yeah, very, very similar in like that aspect.
One thing I kind of think about this though is like I feel like Cole keeps stepping around the word slave in this, and I know slavery is obviously bad. Like we don't need to say that, right? But it almost feels like he's not really her slave. He kind of just like contract works for her, kind of. It's not like
because like he gets something
like,
out of it.
Fine with it. Yeah, he like agrees to do it every time.
Well, and no, I'm assuming he gets
something out of it. Yeah,
like this is his job.
Basically, yeah.
In this story, of course, they don't discuss like
wages.
What's everyone's salary and wages.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he gets paid for his work. Like he's working.
I don't know that he does, but
does anybody though? Like that's what I mean.
Room and board. So now I'm starting to come around that maybe this is a little more slavery, but he kind of did have like this moment where he talked about like, you know what, I kind of had nothing going for me in the real world anyway. This is at least something.
Well, he talks about like, I like my alternative is to go like get an office job, or I could be here. So I take that as like this is the job he's choosing to do.
That's kind of how I take it too. Like I didn't feel like I didn't feel like anybody in this was doing things against their will, which is another thing that I enjoyed about it.
Well, there's this one time where like
the reward things.
Yeah.
But she even kind of says like, you know what? I don't really care. Whatever.
Yeah. Though like her body does move involuntarily to meet and like fulfill the reward.
Yes. Yeah.
I think. Can I? Sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to say, with regards to the rewards in this first volume, Jay, are you current on this?
I'm a little behind. I haven't been reading it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rewards in this first volume are so tame. Compared to how
it definitely escalates.
Yeah.
So when I was reading the first volume here, at the end there was like the author put like little. Because you know what? There's two things I really enjoy about this. The author put little notes about all the things at the end. And he said, like, I specifically instructed the guy who draws this that I want more rewards in this chapter. I hope you enjoyed that. And so I'm like, oh, this guy knows his audience very well.
I mean, you know what? It's fun. It's a fun manga. Like, it is what it is.
You know exactly what you're getting into for sure.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you think. And the other thing I kind of enjoyed is I think I'm realizing that I think the formula of having a author and an artist for a manga is a winning strategy. I think that's just a great way to do it because it just opens up the art to be better. And then the guy can just focus on writing a story that he finds interesting. And they can I think the 2-person team works really well.
Yeah. Yeah, it can work very well.
It can, absolutely.
Now, Jay, sorry, I did cut you off. You did have a point to make before.
Yeah, no, I think I lost my train of thought there, so we can move on.
Okay. Well, maybe it'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you change anything in this? Would you is there anything that you would that you didn't enjoy, I guess?
So
let's get into the negatives.
You brought it back.
Okay,
I will say
if like a phoenix.
The hater. The spite has returned.
I will say, like, if you're a little squeamish about like that idea of like the involuntary reward thing, that like she doesn't really control her body when she does it, I think that like that might be a factor that you would want to consider. Or like if you're just squeamish about ecchi stuff in general, like it does have
I think that if you're probably not into that kind of stuff, you'll probably not even consider reading this in the first place. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty clear that's what this is going to be about.
Yeah, I would. Still going off of what Jay said.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're listening to us and like we're kind of saying, oh, it's a fun time. It is a fun time, but bear in mind, it is very ecchi. It is adult ecchi. Like we've got nudity and whatnot.
It's definitely something you wouldn't want to read in front of your mom and dad.
Yeah.
No.
Or have them pick up the volume off your shelf and be like, hey, what's this? And then start flipping through. Because there are some questionable subject matters for sure.
Yeah, explicit content warning.
It's a wrapped manga for a reason.
Yeah, there's nipples in this. I didn't expect nipples. That threw me off. That caught me for a loop.
Mike, the lack of nipples in this first volume is astounding.
Yeah.
The lack of nipples. That's funny.
Yeah. But I don't dislike this manga. I don't know if there's anything that I would necessarily change. Like nothing strikes me as something I would change for what it is.
I don't think that there's anything worth changing for what it is. I like, obviously, like you could say like the plot isn't that deep or like stuff like that, but like I don't think for what it is, it doesn't really need to be, you know, like
no.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of has its spot and that's fine.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you said, Jay. Like I don't think that if there's anything I'd change, because I think it knows what it is, it's doing its thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just maybe isn't everyone's cup of tea is what I would say.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest critique is it has its slice of the pie and it's very dedicated to that pie. If you don't like pie, then maybe.
If you just don't like pie, you don't go for this. One thing I actually did think was interesting, because you said, is there anything you would change? And there's apparently something that the showrunners would change, because I watched the first episode. I decided to do like a reverse thing here where I watched the first episode and then read the manga just to kind of see, like, usually it'd come in from the other side, right?
Yeah.
And they decided to change the intro a little bit, and I thought that was interesting. They instead, basically, this one opens up with just basically the dude gets thrown into this other world, and then the normal stuff happens. He agrees to the contract, blah 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 blah. But in the anime, they kind of, Cole, have you watched it?
Yep.
Yeah, because I noticed you were nodding along. Yeah, they added in an additional character, like this little girl that they save, kind of into it.
And I mean, they kind of like shuffled around the introduction of the other members of the
platoon
of the platoon, the what is it, squadron or whatever.
7 squad.
I think that was probably a choice to say, you know what, let's get these characters in the first episode so that we know who they are. And as far as like, because there's kind of the sibling mini story in the anime that's just not in the manga at all.
Sibling,
like the two kids that get sucked in with
the two kids, because his sister is a storyline that is already happening. I'm curious
if the point of that is to kind of foreshadow that coming later.
Possibly. That could be it. Yeah.
I thought it was weird that it was a thing that they added, but I thought it kind of made them seem like better people. It kind of made them,
I mean, it's the
more likable because they save people.
It's the cat in the tree thing. Like you put a cat in a tree and get someone to save it, and they're instantly more likable because they just saved a cat.
Jay's putting those cats in the tree.
Jay's putting cats in trees to become instantly more likable.
Yeah, to make himself look better when he comes and he's like, "How'd your cat get up there?" And we all know how that cat got up there.
Yeah. No, it's just a writing technique.
It up there.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But I noticed that for sure too. The subtle changes that they had in the anime versus the manga, and I'm curious if that'll continue or if that was just a first episode thing.
I think it's more or less pretty well. It's just a straight adaptation for the most part, other than like a couple of things that they decided to take some creative liberties on, though. I'm talking one episode in, though, so we'll see.
Yeah. So, but in the manga, we were introduced to one male character. So, I mean, best boy at this point would be Moot.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, we've been introduced to 4 wonderful ladies in this manga. And I mean, who's best girl? I mean, we gotta know, Jay.
I want to say the tsundere girl with the black hair. Forget her name. But I feel like at this point in the manga, because like I can only go off of volume 1. We haven't really gotten enough of her to be able to like.
That's my problem too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty hard to do a best character when you're 1 volume in.
We've done it before, haven't we?
I think so.
I don't know. I think we have. Yeah. But it's just like you don't know enough about him. I do like the girl who grows, I would say.
Yeah, she's good. I mean, I will say, like in the first volume, I'd probably have to go with Kyoka. Like just as kind of the vanilla answer. But best girl comes up in like the second or third volume.
Yeah.
So keep rating.
I don't remember when my best girl from the show or from the manga comes out, but she's not in this one. We'll best
talk
girl
about it off air.
Yeah, my best girl is Kyoka for volume 1. Because I mean, like,
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. The people want to know. The people want to know what.
They're asking.
They're clamoring. Well, I think, like, is there any other thoughts you guys had before we wrap this review up?
I feel like we didn't say very much about it, but I also don't know if I have much to say about it. It's pretty simple. Yeah. There's not really, honestly, like, there's not a lot of meat on these bones to really critique or discuss.
I think, like, that in of itself might be a little bit of an issue. Like, if you're looking for something with a lot of meat on the bones, you're probably not going to find a lot in this.
One criticism I'd probably say is, like, the first volume, like the first 5 chapters, I feel like you need more.
It just felt like a little, like it just kind of needed something more. Like it was fun at least, but it just didn't really have, like, it was just a lackluster chicken wing. It's not fully. It's not.
It was a dry. It was just a dry breaded.
A little dry. Yeah. There's some juicy bits. So we got a good drip of sauce in there, and you're like, oh, that's saucy.
That's
and
spicy.
That's spicy. And then you're like, well, it's actually kind of back to being just a boring.
They kind of overfried it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that, like,
I'm glad that metaphor went real far.
That chicken wing is carrying a lot.
Yeah. A lot of weight here. No, like, I think that it's fine. And, like, it introduces the story in a decent manner, but, like, I don't know if it'll do enough for everyone to make them go, like, I need to know what happens next. Like, it doesn't really have that hook, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, it ends on kind of a good cliffhanger that had me almost continue on, but I decided to stop just for the review, so I only know volume 1.
Okay. That's probably the way to do it. But yeah, it does end on a bit of a cliffhanger where you're like, oh, what's this?
What's going on? That's interesting.
Happening?
Even they do tease it a little bit too, which I thought was kind of nice.
Well, that's foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It's a literary
device.
I
am familiar, Cole.
I'm bringing back Jay's comment from earlier.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd probably say what you guys said. Like, what Mike said was, we haven't really talked about it that much, but I mean, there's not much to talk about here. Like,
it really isn't. Yeah.
I mean, I will say the action panels in this manga are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And
surprisingly good.
Yeah. And the ecchi panels in this manga are also good.
I think that the paneling of the action panels were also, like, very easy to follow. Like, I felt like I was able to understand, like, what was going on. And that is something that some people in some manga aren't capable of doing. So,
I'd say most manga, it's hard to follow the action. And, like, I think that's a benefit that you get from having someone whose whole job is just to do the paneling. Like, he just focuses on the art, and I think that benefits this for sure.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of the One Punch Man thing. Like, the art.
Exactly.
Yeah, so good.
And I think at the same time, like, the art and the art design, and the art style rather, fits the vibe and the tone of the story pretty well too.
Yep. And the character designs are good, like Cole said too.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice, tasty chicken wing, but it just needs a little something more for me to continue. And I think I will. But we'll see.
Yeah. I will say, I guess, like, if I'm really splitting hairs, like, I would like the setting to feel a little more unworldly.
Yeah,
otherworldly.
The Motto world is kind of boring.
Yeah, it kind of just looks like the desert that they'd fight in Dragon Ball Z. You know, like cliffs and rocks. I don't know. I'd like it to be a little more, I don't know,
otherworldly.
Yeah, otherworldly. Like,
I didn't love the designs of the villains, I guess you could call them, either. And they tease another villain at the very end of this volume. So I suspect maybe more interesting looking enemies are coming up. But the grunts that they've faced so far are pretty uninspired, I would say.
What are they called? Shiki? Is that
the grunts?
Yeah. They're kind of the only villains in this first volume. There's, like, proper villains moving forward.
Yeah.
But we're only talking about volume 1, and that is
right.
the first volume. Is anybody comfortable giving their final thoughts and their rating?
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah.
I kind of already have said my final thoughts, really, is that this is a fun little ecchi action romp. You know exactly what it is when I say that. It is, there's pretty good action, there's pretty good ecchi. If you don't like either of those things, or if the ecchi stuff, if you're really not into ecchi, don't even read this, because you'll literally put it down after like a certain point. And I think if you're okay with those things, I think there's definitely something here that's worth reading, and it's at least fun and original and interesting. I don't really know what else to say about it. I'm curious to see what the anime does, and I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to have to watch it in a dark corner of my basement, so where no one can see me, though, because it gets quite graphic from what I can tell. My rating on our new rating system of this one will be, I'd consider continuing this one.
Very good.
Right in the middle of our scale. Yeah.
You would consider continuing. Jay, what say you?
Yeah, I think that it's a fun romp, and like Mike said, it doesn't do anything special, but like it is interesting enough with its power system and premise that I think like you could have a fun time with it. It's, if you were to hold it up against something like One Piece or even like Jujutsu Kaisen, or like those big ones that that has a mass appeal, I don't think it has that. But like I think the audience that like would be interested in it would like it. As someone who has continued on, I'd continue on.
You would and did.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably echo what you guys say. Like it's a fun romp. I had a good time reading it. I would definitely continue it, but you know what? I'd probably even say it tickles my jimmies would be what I would say. No, I really do enjoy this manga. Like I'm current on it. It's got engaging action later on in the manga as well. So if you're on the fence, Michael, if you're on the fence, Jay's rating, I would say just keep going. Like it is, I think it's a pretty good manga with some extra jiggly fun bits in it.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it getting good for sure.
Yeah, it's just the first volume might be a little. I thought there was more in the first volume. Yeah, but it's kind of a weak.
It was a short first volume too, to be fair.
Yeah. Like I said, 5 chapters. Usually we get 7 in them. But anyway, let's dive in.
It's time for the mailbag.
It's the mailbag.
So at the same time, do we want to reveal the next review or save that for
Hold
later?
on. Let's get out of the pool quick.
Let's dive out of the mailbag.
Let's get out of the pool. Dry off.
Get played in reverse.
No, Jay, what are we? What's the next manga we're reviewing?
So this time it was my turn to pick the next manga. And I'll give a couple hints before I reveal it. So first off, this is a manga by an author that the three of us at least know. They've done a manga
personally?
Yes, personally. They've done a manga that either has gotten an anime or we've read the manga and we've all at least enjoyed it to some degree. The manga we're reading is a different genre from that other series entirely.
Okay.
And it is an action drama comedy-esque series.
Action comedy
drama that we all have somehow watched or read. Now Jay's gonna pull out the volume.
No, let's read the synopsis here.
Okay. He's really teasing us. He's edging us here, Cole.
Yeah.
Who is the hero and who is the villain? When the monster army invaded Earth 13 years ago, the divine Dragon Rangers rose up to stop them. With the war raging on, these great heroes are mankind's last hope. Or are they?
Was this the one you showed? Hold on. Was this the one you showed me yesterday?
Maybe.
Okay.
In truth,
I don't remember what it was called.
The invaders were subjugated within a year, forced to continue to crank out a monster a week for the Rangers to crush in front of their adoring fans. But one monster has had enough. Something has to change. He'll rebel against the might of the Dragon Rangers and destroy them all from the inside.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Our next review, gentlemen, is going to be Negi Haruba, famous for quintessential quintuplets.
Oh, okay.
Go Loser Ranger.
Okay, so he went from drawing what is essentially a romance Super Sentai, where you pick your favorite Ninja Turtle, to a new Super Sentai where you pick your favorite Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, but the Rangers are evil, and you'll find that out. Anyway,
we'll find
spoilers.
out.
Yeah.
We'll find that out. The anime is coming out. Go Loser Ranger.
Okay.
The anime is coming out sometime this year, and I feel like this is a great way to drum up some hype for it and see what it's all about.
Yeah,
because I know people do like Quince, so let's see what his other manga is all about.
I look forward to the best girl in it with the big hairdo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People do like Quince. Okay, now we've taken our break from eating, so we won't get cramps as we dive into this.
It's time for the mailbag.
I think that okay, now we're in. Now we're in the mailbag.
Now we're swimming in the pool.
Yeah. I just dried off. Now I'm back in.
Yeah, now I'm back in. It's cold. Yeah. Why is it so windy out here?
Why is it so windy? Yeah, give me a towel.
What's with the warm patch
back on?
The warm patch?
There's like a warm patch.
You know what that's. You know why. You know why.
Sorry, that was me. Yeah. If you want to send us a mailbag question, you can do that either at our website, AniProPod.com/mailbag, or on our Discord, which is where this question came from. It's also patron priority mailbag question. Wee woo. It was not posted in our mailbag section, but I liked the question and I thought it was funny because the three of us all share one thing in common, two things in common. And one of those things is related to this question. So Super Mexi asked on our general chat channel, he said, I started rewatching South Park and I've wondered if y'all up north ever get upset or offended by how they depict Canadians. Are we all familiar with how South Park depicts Canadians?
I am kind of familiar. I'm not a big South Park guy. But I feel like I've seen it before. Are they just like basically like dumb?
Well, they say like buddy and guy.
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
You know what? You guys talk about it. I'm gonna watch a YouTube clip.
But the thing is, their heads like split open and
they're like cut in half eggs, basically. Right?
I'm like. Honestly, the thing with Canadians is we all have a pretty self-deprecating sense of humor in general. So I feel like the South Park depiction of Canadians doesn't bother us.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just we take it in good fun.
I just think it's. I just think it's.
Can you hear what I was watching?
Yeah, I could hear it. I could hear it in your earphones. Yeah, that's what I would say. No, we're not offended by it. We're fine.
Yeah.
Jay, what do you?
Yeah, no.
Are you offended by it?
No, I like I said, I think it's funny. It like if anything, it's like a little nice because like the main stars that the main characters idolize are two Canadians,
Terrence and Phillip.
Yeah. And like. So like it's kind of looked at as like this like magical place that Terrence and Phillip are from. So like,
but I mean, let's not forget in the movie, South Park movie. The villains are are Canadians.
It's true. It's accurate for sure.
Which I find funny.
It is funny.
I will. Now that I've watched this and kind of remember, I'd say it's pretty bang on. Honestly, these guys are just like us for real.
For real.
For real.
Yeah. No, kind of like I think Cole said. I think we're just happy to get mentioned a lot of the time because like the United States is like our big, really successful, handsome, powerful older brother. Mm-hmm. And we're kind of like Quasimodo just hanging out up here. We're a little poor. We're just kind of, hey, over here.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Oh, hey, buddy. Then, hey, guy.
And then the States is like, I'm not your buddy guy.
No, they're our buddies.
Yeah. I'm not your guy, if they were Fland.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think if anybody thinks like they're pulling a fast one on them Canucks up there with the South Park thing, it's
no. We take a joke pretty well. I think it's part of our nature.
Yeah, we're too nice.
I feel like we're at the same time the people that would be offended by something like that probably won't be watching South Park anyway.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe if I showed it to like my mom or something, she'd be like, "How dare they? How dare they say that? My head doesn't do that."
my head only hinges at the jaw, not at the middle,
not at the back. Some kind of monstrous thing. Yeah. We also got a mailbag question on our website, actually. And this one came from Big Meaty Claws.
Ooh. Big Meaty Claws.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay, for adding that emphasis.
It's a SpongeBob reference.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm too old.
Because I was just picturing like two giant like lobster or crab claws full of meat.
Oh, I was
just
getting
getting
like
hungry.
Well, no,
it's
a guy talking to Mr. Krabs. He has like either a British or an Australian accent, and he's like, "Well, if someone wasn't playing with their big meaty claws," Mr. Krabs goes, "What did you say, bub?" And then he says, "Big meaty claws."
We got the inside lore on this guy's name.
Yeah.
They just asked, what horror anime do you guys recommend and why? Thanks. Now,
quintessential quintuplets, because you'll watch the whole thing just to watch the worst girl win.
Wow. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to bleep out my reaction so that people don't know.
Okay, I'm sure the second follow-up to your bleep will help.
I'm going to beep because beep.
Yeah.
I just think you're going to say like a ton of expletives.
Yeah, that's all he does, though. Horror anime is tough. It's pretty tough to actually have a good horror anime, honestly. For sure, one of the scariest and best horror anime I've ever watched is... the name escapes me right now. It's old. They look really cute. Horrible things happen. It has the famous scene where the girl gets her nails ripped out.
Higurashi?
Higurashi. Yeah, Higurashi is for sure probably my go-to recommendation for horror anime, but they're rare. They're hard to come by for sure.
It's tough to recommend horror anime as I recommend my favorite horror anime. And I will die on this hill defending this as a horror anime. Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, yeah.
Is a terrific kind of Lovecraftian horror. Like, you don't know what the monsters are. Most of the horror takes place in like their head. When you really sit down and think about it, Evangelion is a scary, freaky concept. It's a horror anime. I'll
for sure. It's got great
builds, but the original series.
It has great visuals too, and kind of it's like the slow pacing of it definitely helps build it into that horror-y anime.
I mean, of course, it's broken up by like the fun Misato chugging her beer and stuff like that. But like when it gets down and dirty in the existential dread, awesome.
Horror's like that though. Like when you watch horror movies, it'll be like scary stuff happening, and then it'll be like the girls having a pillow fight, and then Jason comes in and slashes them all to pieces. You know, like that is what horror is. It's kind of campy and silly, but also horrific.
Well,
right?
I mean, yeah, you got to undercut the horror with humor. I think that's what they're going for. Yeah.
I have a couple more now that I've had a chance to do a Google. Jay, do you have one you want to say before I go?
I have two. I'll start with this one. because I feel like the other one is going to be mentioned by Mike. And that is the first season of The Promised Neverland. I feel like is a really good horror. Especially like early Promised Neverland.
The first episode of Promised Neverland was like legitimately horrifying.
Yeah. It's got that like unnervedness to it. The like suspense is really thrilling, and like it like the stakes of the like horror is really ever present and great. So yeah.
And then what they did with the second season. Now that's true horror.
There isn't what second season?
There isn't a second season. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Just go read the manga after that.
Yeah,
it's a Mandela effect. I remember second season. I don't know what.
No, I don't remember it at all.
Was it Berenstain or Berenstain Bears?
Mike, is there a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom?
As the X-Files
good backup
plays in the background.
Yeah, this will be Cole's excuse to put the X-Files theme in this. Mirako-chan is a good horror anime. Yeah. I feel like it does a good job of capturing the horror because she can't do anything about the spirits, and she can just see them, and that's truly scary. Like when you play like Alien Isolation or something like that, where you can't defend yourself really. You just kind of have to like
hide,
survive, basically. Yeah. And I think that they do a good job of that in Mirako-chan. Yeah. And it's pretty creepy, actually. Like,
it is creepy. And
it's also wholesome in a weird way.
Yeah, it's got some good, like it's comedic too, which I feel like comedy and horror really go well together.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Raimi proved that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Spider-Man 3.
Or like Evil Dead. Spider-Man? Well, I mean, no, in Spider-Man 2, the whole Doc Ock thing when he's that's a horror.
That is
scene.
A good horror scene, yeah.
Yeah. I've got a second one. I was reminded when Jay said Promised Neverland, and that is Made in Abyss.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty. I like the more psychological horror. Like I don't really care about like monsters coming out and scaring me because you know what, monsters aren't real. You know what is real? The shit that goes on in here.
Yeah.
So I like that more. So
if we're looking at like psychological stuff, I'll throw out two. ReZero is like good like psychological horror, and then also the latter Heaven's Feel movies, like the second Heaven's Feel movie is like pretty psychologically charged. I'm thinking like especially of that one scene where she's just like if you remember what I'm not going to spoil, but if you know, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
if you know, you know.
ReZero 2's got one of the best like stingers, like sound effects in horror. Like
the ooh.
Yeah.
So good that we put it on our spoiler drop because its spoilers are so scary.
One last one I'll say as well would be Madoka Magica as well. It's a horror.
Yeah, definitely horror inspired for sure. Yeah, my last one I'll throw out there is probably Devilman Crybaby. I think it's got a lot of good horror scenes, but it's also got like it's more of a fun horror than a scary horror for the most part.
It's got some scary stuff.
It's definitely got the psychological stuff going on too.
If we're looking at just like classic horror, the last one I'll throw out is Parasite. Just like classic horror.
Yeah, body horror.
Yeah.
Classic body horror. Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul
horror.
Yeah.
I feel like the horror is better in the manga, but I mean, people say the whole manga is better.
There's a lot of things that are better in the manga of Tokyo Ghoul.
I mean, and of course, Ghost Stories. We got to throw that out there too, because I mean,
we should. I really want to review Ghost Stories with you boys.
It's only 20 episodes.
I know.
Is it only 20 episodes?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a long time to watch a gag anime, though.
Do you guys want to go watch that right now?
Like, take a quick like.
That'd be a very funny sub or dub conversation.
Yeah,
we'll step away from this mic and we'll go take a
break. TokyoTreat is a monthly Japanese snack subscription box where you can get up to 20 of the latest, exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored snacks that are only available in Japan for a limited time, like Sakura Pepsi, Japanese Kit Kat flavors, ramen, and many, many more treats. Japan has many special and unique New Year's traditions, such as slurping toshikoshi soba or year-crossing noodles while reflecting on the previous year, to listening to some of Japan's biggest artists perform on the popular New Year's Eve television program Kohaku, or camping outside your favorite store in order to snag a fukubukuro or lucky bag filled with mystery items at a huge discount.
So grab your best sparkly outfit and some 2024 glasses and enjoy this month's theme, New Year's Snackin' Party. Each box comes with a handy booklet explaining all the terrific treats that can be found inside your TokyoTreat box. The booklet also contains a helpful amount of information about Japanese culture related to your snacks. This month, TokyoTreat is holding their January New Year's contest, in which one grand prize winner will receive a Demon Slayer Tamagotchi, as well as 3-month subscription to TokyoTreat.
In addition, they are awarding 4 runner-up prizes consisting of a free month of TokyoTreat, as well as a Demon Slayer cable bite.
To enter, snap a photo, video, or reel of your showing your spirit of the new year, along with your TokyoTreat box, and upload it to any of your social media accounts with the hashtags TokyoTreat and hashtag TokyoTreatNewYear.
What did you guys think of the Kit Kats we got this month?
Oh, they're really good. It was white chocolate on top and regular milk chocolate underneath. Mm-hmm. And I think it's to go with the theme of red and white for New Year's. Mm-hmm. And it was nice and tasty. I do like a white chocolate and I do like a milk chocolate. I did also get this little, do you know what a taiyaki is? Mm-hmm. It's like a little waffle breaded fried treat shaped like a fish, usually filled with some kind of filling. Mm-hmm. They gave me one of those in here. It was like a ice cream cone outside with like this sweet chocolate arrow filling on the inside. And man, did it go down nice with a cup of tea. I really enjoyed that. It was fantastic. And it's, again, something you just can't get it. I don't know where you'd buy this in a store. Walmart does not have chocolate taiyaki, no, that's for sure. You just can't get that stuff here, you know? And I mean, you had it with a cup of tea. I've got some potato stick snacks. Go great with a nice adult beverage. Mm-hmm. If any of the treats we mentioned interest you, head over to the link in our description and use code AniPro for $5 off your first box. Once again, use our code AniPro after clicking the link in the description. $5 off your first box.
Is that Christmas money burning a hole in your pocket? Well, guess what? This is a great way to spend it.
That's right. Spend it on delicious Japanese snacks. Thank you again to TokyoTreat for sponsoring this episode. Give me more chicky chips, please. Welcome back to the Anime Protagonist Podcast. We're back from a break. We just watched... What show were we...
Ghost Stories?
Ghost Stories.
We just watched Ghost Stories.
Chicky chips with our Ghost Stories.
Drive the bus driver.
We're not gonna review that right now.
Dig the ditch digger.
We have 13 whole shows to discuss. These were all of the shows that we reviewed last year in 2023. Mm-hmm. And this year we'll have more shows to review. So maybe this will be a yearly tradition that we can add to our list of other yearly traditions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we kind of were talking and we're like, you know what? It might be nice to like, sometimes we run out of things to say, or you know how sometimes when you kind of stew on something after you've finished it, and then you can look at your list a couple months later and you're like, you know, maybe I was too hard on that, or maybe it's kind of, I've grown fonder, or maybe I hate it even more now. And I think it's worth kind of just revisiting our what we've done, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a very good idea from 3 very smart and beautiful beautiful men.
Well, 2. I'll let you decide who the third one is.
Yeah, you decide who the third one is.
Yeah, you decide. Let us know in the comments. Okay, so let's get started. The first review that we did last year was Charlotte.
Yes.
Now, let me just say, I don't remember reviewing Charlotte.
Not at all.
So, I mean, not very much. No, I remember kind of the main character. What was her name? Now?
No. Yeah.
I remember her.
I rember that
and
one part of the
super
OP.
Edgy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that one part of the OP that was like actually pretty cool.
Yeah. When she's like, I remember we went crazy for that.
Mm-hmm. She's like dancing.
I feel like there's not a ton to talk about with Charlotte other than like, I feel like I was maybe too high on it. I'll say what we rated it. I rated it a 4 or a supporting character. Cole rated it a henchman, and Jay rated it a background character.
I rated it a henchman.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll stand by that. Yeah.
I feel like I probably could have came down to more middle of the pack, because I feel like it kind of aged poorly in my brain a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe
like the fact is, like, I'm looking at like even the next one that we reviewed, I remember vividly. Like it had an image in my head. Mm-hmm. This one, it was kind of just a cookie cutter anime. Of course, like if you like it, we're not trying to yuck anyone's yums. But I mean, yeah, it didn't stick. It hasn't sunk its claws into me, and I think that's
big meaty claws.
It's big meaty claws. The one thing that did stick in my head a little bit though is like it's probably the only anime I've seen somebody do hard drugs in.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen very often, you know.
Yeah, see, I don't even remember that.
No?
Literally, the only thing I remember is the main girl was cute, and that's it. And the ending was super edgy. So
and I remember the romance was very forced.
The romance was definitely forced. We can still agree on that.
Yeah. There was like amnesia at the end. I don't remember. Speaking of amnesia, this guy.
Yeah. But go check out our review for more of our actual thoughts.
These reviews.
Maybe Coach should go check out our review to bring his memory back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, but isn't that like, shouldn't that be something that we're weighing into?
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
No, I
I don't know how memorable it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the big thing about doing this is how much do we remember?
Yeah.
Jay, do you stand by your rating? You gave it a background?
I'd probably lower it by 1 because, like,
I think that's a consensus here. We should lower our ratings maybe on this one.
I don't remember it. If we were to review it today, like with our new patent pending rating system,
yeah, why don't we say what we would rate them now?
Yeah,
this is a good way to introduce the new rating system.
We'll introduce a new rating system.
Yeah. I'd give it if it wasn't for this review, I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. If it wasn't for the review, I probably wouldn't be watching it.
I would have dropped it. Yeah.
I think I would have give it maybe I continue possibly, but there's nothing to continue.
Yeah.
You know, but
you continue it in spirit.
If it did have a continuation, you would have continued it.
Yeah. Maybe we need to workshop that middle one now that we thought that there's like one core shows that only have no sequel, but we'll get there. We'll figure that out.
We'll get there.
We're workshopping it. Yeah.
Listen, we got till next week to figure this out. Check out our review next week of
Toilet Bound Hanako-kun.
Our next review that we did though was Bubblegum Crisis. Now this is the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. I remember this one vividly.
Cole nominated this one. That's why he remembers it. Yeah.
It is like a great unique cyberpunk take. The music in it was great. I love that like early 90s, late 80s anime aesthetic. Like, so good.
So yeah, you rated this one a supporting character, and then me and Jay rated this one a background character.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is probably where I still stand on it. I do agree that like the one thing I think maybe we didn't touch on enough, or maybe we did, I don't really remember, is that like this is so iconic of an anime. Mm-hmm. Like when there's so many scenes that I can think of, or like GIFs in my head that can play of when I think of this show, and that just like purely the actual watch experience wasn't that great maybe, but like there's a lot of like cool things that happen in it.
Yeah, I've seen like clips on Instagram, like little mini like 10-second AMVs that somebody put together with like, that retro anime aesthetic.
Super aesthetic, there's a lot of aesthetic here.
Beep beep. Here comes Jay with the very depressing anecdote. I don't remember this show at all.
No.
I remember Charlotte more than I remember this show.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're not a sci-fi guy, though.
I'm not, but at the same time, Cole, why?
Yeah. Really? Why?
Just why?
The lowest score on our new scale.
Just why?
Wow.
Like, if it weren't for the review, I wouldn't continue. But I just remember, and I remember being very
underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed, not because like it was an 80s show, but because like I was like, this is not my wheelhouse whatsoever.
Yeah. No, and that's fair. Like hey man, we're 3 individuals. We know you're not the sci-fi guy. That being said, AniPro certified for me. This, like, it's
really?
marinated in my mind.
So it went up for you.
It went up for me.
Jay.
Like, I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece by any stretch, but I would put my seal of approval on it. Okay. It's AniPro certified.
Then you guys,
AniPro Cole certified.
I wouldn't say necessarily went down. More, my feeling just changed on it.
Yeah. Your feeling got more negative, right? And I think I'm kind of the same. I think it's got like iconic bits, like I said, but I don't, and like the songs I think are maybe or another thing that brought it up for me too. But I remember back to watching it and being so bored too at the same time. So see,
I remember enjoying it, and the vibes, man, are just immaculate in this show.
It's a you show, right?
Yeah, no, totally. I know the show is it plays into my wheelhouse for sure. But I guess, you guys went down a little bit and I went up. So, I mean,
it all averages out. Yeah.
That's why we do this. That's why we review shows.
What did Jay make us review next?
Jay made us review Barakamon, which I remember really enjoying. But again, I kind of forgot about it. But I think it's just because I haven't thought about it. Like, if I think about it, if I think about thinking about it, then I've had thought about it. You know what I mean?
Well, you gave it a protagonist and Jay gave it a protagonist and I gave it a supporting. So we definitely enjoyed that show.
We definitely enjoyed it. And I think looking back on it, I still like it. I remember the message of it was very good. The acting in it was good. I remember being blown away that all of the children were actually children.
Yeah.
Small humans. Yeah, I'd stick by AniPro certified on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't. I don't feel like it's an AniPro certified show, but it definitely did tickle my jimmies.
Yeah, it definitely tickled my jimmies too, which is like right between certified and what was the middle one again?
I'd continue
it, yeah, because I definitely continue it, and it definitely tickled my jimmies. So yeah, it's for sure in that tier.
You're just not picturing like the poster with like the seal of approval on it.
No, I don't know if I can quite get there. You know what? Maybe if I rewatch it, I could see kind of like with Toradora, my enjoyment of this going up. I think maybe, but on my one watch, I think I needed more.
Yeah, no, I again, like the message of it was just very, very positive.
And there is kind of a sequel to it because there's that Hanako-kun you can watch as well, which is actually, I think, a prequel.
It's a prequel because it's him in high school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could continue it.
You could continue,
yeah.
I haven't. What does that say? But I know the anime is good.
Yeah.
Is très bien.
Très good and bien. Also very cute, too.
Yeah, it was very cute. Now, Mike, you made us watch Ancient Magus Bride.
The funny thing is, I guess I'll say right away. We got Cole with a protagonist on this one, me with a background, and Jay with a supporting character. So a pretty good score. But I never remember who nominates these things. And when I discussed with Jay to create our list here that I'm going to put out to the public of like all of our reviews and stuff like that, it just always blows me away. I'm like, why did I make us review this? I'm surprised Cole didn't. But
I'm hesitant to make us review shows that I really enjoy.
I guess, yeah. You don't have to hurt your baby. Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, I mean, like, I love Ancient Magus Bride.
Yeah.
I feel like this is in the running for like your favorite anime.
Oh, it's definitely top 10.
Yeah.
Possibly top 5. I mean, I'm going to my grave defending things all day today with Evangelion, and the OST for this is the best OST in anime.
This show definitely has a lot going for it. I think there was a little bit that kind of lulled for me that I didn't really enjoy. But I do see why Cole liked it.
Yeah, I just think like another great aspect of it is like its world building. It's so engaging, and I love the characters.
And it all feels very intricate.
I love my sad characters, and Chisei is one of the saddest sad sacks you've ever seen.
And you've continued on to season 2, and I think season 2's done now, right? So definitely is still giving you that joy. 3.
Yeah,
I have not watched any of season 2 at all.
What does that say?
What does that say? Yeah.
Do you want to?
I don't know. I do eventually, but it's just like so low on my tier list of priorities. Because I enjoyed this show, and I just remember kind of like Jay said, there was definitely like lulls in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I when I think back to it, all I can think of is just like I don't really have a strong feeling for it, and I just kind of enjoyed it, I think, and that's why I'm keeping it at that. Like I'd consider continuing, but it's not making it up any real.
Yeah, I definitely consider continuing it. But like I probably would. Like, I probably wouldn't reach out to do it anytime soon.
Yeah. I would say it's good though. Like I'd recommend it's weird because when there's ones I'd recommend to people, but maybe I didn't enjoy that much. You know what I mean? And this is one of those where I'd say, yeah, most people, I think you could recommend it to people, but it's maybe not everyone's cup of tea.
If someone asked me like, what's a good fantasy show, I'd probably have it on that list. But at the same time, like it depends on like if they're like, oh, I loved Mushoku Tensei, what should I watch? I'd be like,
Free Ren.
Probably Free Ren
is the
Ren.
answer. Yeah. Not this. Yeah.
Not this.
Yeah. I loved Harry Potter. Okay. Well, maybe you might like Ancient Magus Bride.
Yeah.
Get into anime there. I mean, I'm sticking another seal of approval on this one. Man, I'm just throwing these seals out.
We learned that Cole's memory, when he remembers something, it just goes up in power. Yeah.
Speaking of going up in power, Grand Blue, which was our listener's choice.
Yes, our first listener's choice.
Our first ever listener's choice, which I barely remember.
Really? I remember really finding the show funny, honestly.
Yeah, no. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. I barely remember the review.
Oh, because we were drunk.
You were hammered. Yeah.
It was a drinking episode. And I think
this is when we started doing bonus episodes. We started our Patreon right around now too, right? And we did a drinking patron episode right before too.
We did a Never Have I Ever bonus episode.
That's right. Yeah.
And then immediately recorded Grand Blue review.
I think
that was fun.
Yeah, and I think that was like because of the heavy drinking themes in the show that we were like, oh, this is perfect.
We tried to keep up to the characters, and which was a mistake in hindsight.
Yeah, but, it was more difficult than we initially anticipated. Yeah. But in the end,
it was fun. Yeah,
it was worth it.
You gave this one a supporting. I gave it a supporting, and Jay gave it a supporting. We were all pretty positive, but no one gave it a certified mark. Does anyone opinion change up or down on this one?
Nah, I'd probably stick with this. Tickles my jimmies. This is
I think it tickles my jimmies
anime.
too.
It tickles my jimmies.
Yeah, this was a fun anime to watch. It was so much funnier than I thought it would be. Like this is up there, I would say, with like your Konosubas in terms of just pure comedy.
I was thinking the same thing. Like if people were like, "What's like the funniest anime?" I'd for number one Konosuba, and then I would definitely put this in like that maybe 1B tier, or like maybe like Konosuba's A. This is a little tiny bit below, but it's in that conversation for sure.
I feel like Grand Blue is kind of the kind of slice of life to Konosuba's fantasy.
It's also like one of those shows that I think like those like those people that like to go out and party and drink and all that. Like this is the comedy I think they'd like.
And it definitely, I remember watching it and like thinking back to like when I just moved into my apartment, I was living on my own for the first time, away from my small town and my parents and everything. I'm like, I'm big city Mike now, let's party. And that's definitely like the spirit of this anime. So it definitely hit that like nostalgia party bone for me too.
Yeah, I remember that too. I think we mentioned that in the review, was like Mike and I probably have that nostalgia bait to it. Just like I remember going to Mike's apartment when we first moved to the city, and we'd have like big ragers. It was a good time. It was fun, but like now, you can only look back on it.
Yeah, I would
only look back on it.
Yeah, how I didn't get evicted, me and Nug Deep, I have no idea.
Nug Deep lived there past you. I moved in with him.
I know, that's crazy. But you know what? I look back on this one fondly. I'm tempted to put the certified fresh, but then I remember just kind of like how janky it was a little bit.
Yeah,
there's enough here to not move it into certified AniPro fresh. Yeah,
like certified fresh. You know what? I'm going back for Bubblegum Crisis. I'm just gonna say tickle my jimmies on that one, because I feel like certified fresh.
What do we call it? What is it actually?
AniPro certified.
AniPro certified. Yeah.
Like those are like what I would consider like cream of the crop.
Yeah, it's like the big kid on campus.
Yeah. This one I really like. but it's not like, I wouldn't give this any awards, but I
wouldn't throw
really
my roses
fun.
at it, but like I definitely got a very positive response out of it.
Yeah,
or rather, other way around. It got a positive response out of me, but yeah.
Lots of fun.
Tickled your jimmies.
Definitely tickled my jimmies.
Yeah.
Jay, did it
tickle my jimmies?
Yeah. Now, you gave us And Yet the Town Moves next. And that one did tickle your jimmies. You gave it a supporting character.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a background, and Jay gave it a supporting character. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about And Yet the Town Moves now?
And Yet the Town Moves is a lot of style. And I think one of you guys might have even said this during the review. Lots of style. The substance maybe isn't there. I'm not as high on it as I was when I reviewed it. The OP is still great. I love the OP.
The OP, I agree, is great.
I don't really remember the OP.
Oh, it's so good. It's just classic Shaft OP.
Yeah, it's like that downtown cootie. It's just like a fun little dance Shaft.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yes, I do remember it. I do remember now.
Fits.
Yeah. Go ahead. No,
okay. I'm gonna go then. I'm gonna speak my mind. So ultimately, my response would have been tickles my jimmies. At this point, I'll probably lower it to. I'd continue it. I would continue it.
Yeah.
There is, I did read the last chapter of the manga because I'm a masochist, and it gets weird. And I remember that being an issue. No, weird in a good way.
Oh, okay.
I remember that.
Didn't aliens get involved at one point in this?
Yeah. Like it got so okay. Now it's coming back to me. The end, like it got better towards the end.
Yeah.
But the start of it was kind of just like
that slice of life.
Okay, we got a dumb girl, we got a pretty girl, they're both crushing on a boy. And then by the end it's like this weird like existential aliens, and it was very strange towards the end. And I like that aspect of it.
Super disjointed, and kind of just like you're just kind of left like wondering what the heck did I just watch?
In that aspect, I would say I'd continue because I want that to continue, but it starts off maybe a little weaker than I gave it credit for.
I know for me, like just in retrospect, I probably wouldn't have watched this if it weren't for the review. Just because like it like you both said, it's very disjointed. I think like the Shaft aspect of like how it's directed and that kind of drags out the slowness of the slice of life and just kind of makes it a little boring. Which like I think there is a right way to do slice of life, and I think like that would be a much faster paced thing, which Shaft is more slow things down. Let's enjoy the visuals.
Yeah.
And I don't think it fits that aspect. If it probably got to the alien stuff and kept going, it probably would have fitted a lot better. But
yeah, I think they picked it up midway through the manga and they're like, let's do it, and then they remembered, the boring. Mike, you haven't said anything.
I didn't. I think
maybe you did say, I don't remember.
About like if I changed my rating, are you asking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like I feel like if anything, I could even come down on it too. Like I know we've all kind of said the same thing for the most part. Like I feel like we were a little too, maybe we were being nice to Cole because we didn't want to hurt his feelings and he clearly loved this one or something, because that's a factor sometimes. But like I really didn't enjoy this one, guys. I don't look back fondly on it at all. I like Jay said, I would not have finished this show if I didn't have to. So that's probably where I would put it in like that tier below. Consider continuing, and I'd put it in like the if it weren't for the review, I'd probably drop it. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's the beauty of this like new rating system too, is it allows us to just kind of speak, okay, you would have dropped it, but we had to keep watching it. So.
Yeah.
Next up though, we did Guilty Crown. Jay's 10 out of 10.
Jay's 10 out of 10.
Absolute 10 out of 10.
Did not get 10 out of 10s from us though.
No. Yeah. But like I did say, I remember saying in the review that like a part of my childhood was lost rewatching the show because like I didn't like it as much as I did upon the first time. That said, I feel like
I want Mike to just say our scores.
Cole, you gave it a background, I gave it a henchman, and Jay gave it a background. Sorry. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. That said, I really look back on this show fondly, mostly because of like the relevance it has to me as an anime fan.
It's kind of like how I look back on like the Fast and the Furious movies. Like maybe they're not the best movies ever, or like a lot of Nicolas Cage movies, but they hold like a special place in my heart, you know? I feel like that's maybe this for you.
Yeah. Like it does a lot of things decently. Like I think the action direction and some of the production is like pretty good.
Definitely.
But a lot of the like story stuff is just like all over the place. It feels like stuff was retconned. I
remember having a hard time caring about all the characters.
It's a little bit of a mess. But that said, like I still think this show does tickle my jimmies just because like just because of the fondness I have over it as like what it turned me into.
I feel like I get that. I feel like that's maybe like, I feel like when we recorded, I remember thinking like you're being a little, maybe even too harsh on something that I think that maybe tickles your jimmies is a more fitting way to describe your feels to the show.
I think like the rating I gave it, because I think I gave it a background, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I still like follow the sentiment with that.
Yeah.
Because like as like a critique of the show, that would be the rating I'd give it. But like as a place it holds in my heart,
tickles a little Jimmy in your heart.
It tickles my jimmies.
Yeah, I get
tickles your jimmies, guy.
I would say I remember watching this, and I remember towards the end it kind of just turns into like
Michael Bay,
like a Code Geass ripoff, and it kind of gets. And looking back on it now, I'd probably say I wouldn't have continued it if it wasn't for the review. I probably would have just kind of fallen off and found something else to watch. Not out of like a loathing for it, just like it would lose me if it wasn't for the review.
Yeah, I could see that. It definitely, I could see where it would lose you for sure. Just like by knowing you. Yeah, I would kind of maybe echo that, but I think, what did I give it? Did I give it a 2 or a 3? I don't remember. I gave it a 2. Maybe I was a bit too harsh on this one. I think I would have finished it, honestly. I think I think I would have finished it out of just like pure, kind of how I'm feeling about like Ragna Crimson from the last season and this season, where like it's maybe not hitting all the spots for me. It's not definitely not tickling any jimmies for me. But it hasn't fully lost me, and I'm just kind of curious to see what happens, I think, by the end of it. Yeah. And I think it's maybe where it sits is maybe in that like median tier of just like, it's fine. But like, I'd again recommend it to people because it's I take that back. I wouldn't recommend it to people. It's fun for a certain person if you're early in anime, and I think we touched on that in our review too.
Yeah. I do remember saying in the review too, like I would say, just go watch Code Geass, go watch Eureka 7.
It's
like
more fun and better.
They're way better.
I think at the time when I watched this show, I had already seen Code Geass. So like I was kind of trying to.
That's crazy.
I think I can't remember which one I'd seen first.
I thought in the review you said this was like one of your like third anime or something like that.
Yeah, it was like one of the earlier ones, but I can't remember which one. Because like Code Geass was also a very early anime.
Jay, for my sanity and our friendship, let's say you didn't watch.
But Cole, you gotta understand. Like I was just running the runner's high of like like if it was, then it would have just been like me going like, oh, Code Geass is so good, I need something similar. So I watched Guilty Crown.
It's part of why I kind of thought this would be a good thing for us to do too, is that like I want to go back and check out some shows that I watched early on in my anime career, just to see, now that my eyes have been seasoned and they're a little more battle weary, what I think of things. You know,
they're tired.
They're tired. I'm tired, boss. And like, I just don't think, and you can see it in our I put a little color coded rating thing in our graph here that you can go and I'll put in our Discord this chart as well, and it's on our website if you go to our reviews section. But you can see our colors go from green at the top in 2022. They're pretty much all green, and they're just slowly going more and more red and yellow as we go on. So we're definitely getting more battle weary.
We're becoming more jaded.
Yeah,
Jay did.
Yeah.
Okay, now
one for sure.
This one though, I'm interested to see what we all think. Mike made us watch Oddtaxi, which I think I can go out and say we all rated it.
We all gave it protagonist. Yeah, 5 out of 5
across the board. And this one for sure. Seal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. AniPro certified. The show's only gotten better as time went on.
It's one that I like. I'm not much of a rewatcher, but I want to rewatch this one because I just love it so much. It's so good. If honestly, like, our review didn't convince you to watch Oddtaxi, go watch Oddtaxi. It's so flippin' good.
Go ahead, Cole.
No.
Okay.
Oh, you lovely Canadians.
if the animal thing is turning you off, don't let it be a hindrance. There's so much there that that it makes you forget that, like, they look like animals.
No, yeah, exactly. You get midway through the show and you're like, oh yeah, they're all anthropomorphized animals.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I remember like the end of it too. And I had thought about it before. Mike's not on.
I just realized that, yeah.
I thought what happened. Like I had called it. And it felt so good when I was proven right. You know, the show did that. It
led you to it and didn't cheapen out and just try to like pull the rug out from under you or anything. It was like, yeah, if you got it, guy.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like, I recently watched Godzilla -1.
As did I.
Mike. Yeah. And
I cried.
You and I had different reactions. I enjoyed Godzilla -1, but at the end something happens and I called it in the theater. That movie for me, when it's revealed that I was correct, I kind of got like okay. Like, I felt like I was smarter than the writer. Whereas in Oddtaxi, I felt like the writer
let you have that one.
It took me along, and I felt rewarded instead of like.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Instead of like smug, you know.
I put it in like the running for like best mysteries period for anime. Honestly,
or like even best psychological, because like it really delves into the main character's psyche of like who he is and why he is what he is.
Yeah. So like when you watch a piece of art or something like that, or a show, and it changes your perspective on things, it's pretty good, right? Like it makes you think philosophically about yourself and the world. That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
It is good. That's what I would say.
AniPro certified for me too.
AniPro certified.
Yeah. Maintained. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got the golden seal. Next up we did Madoka Magica.
A little more controversial.
A little more controversial, Jay.
Listener's choice winner for Cole won that one in the listener's choice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to brag, but
Cole gave this one a protagonist. I gave it a protagonist. Jay gave it a generous supporting, I remember.
Yeah. I don't know. My opinion on Madoka Magica is probably still the same, where like I still don't feel too high on it. But like I probably wouldn't give it a supporting.
It's kind of what I was thinking. I'm thinking like, this one might come down for you.
I think, and like I at the same time, I remember saying I understood why people liked it, and I understood where all the hype is, where all the hype comes from. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Which, like, I mean, is fair. You know, like I always wanted to watch Madoka Magica, and I just never got around to it.
It's one that I think that everybody should watch, just purely from like its iconicness. Maybe is what I would say.
I would echo that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
like it's in the pantheon. I would say you might not love it, you might not like it, but it's in the Hall of Fame almost. I would say. Yeah.
I'd probably say though, like if it weren't for the review, I probably wouldn't have finished it.
Ooh.
Just because like I feel like I was checked out by like episode 8. I was just like, I get it.
I remember you not really giving two craps about it. That's definitely what I remember of the review.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in my heart, honestly, having watched this thing, I think 3 or 4 times now, it's still just certified AniPro goodness. Honestly, I still love it so much. I don't know what else there is really to say about it. I still haven't checked out the movies for some reason. I really need to get around to doing that.
I think it's a finding it thing.
Yeah. And like the last movie is like about to come out, I believe, too.
I think it came out last season.
I can't remember. Yeah. The movies get weird because they don't come out. They come out in Japan and they come out here maybe 3 months later.
I wish they'd like throw them on Crunchyroll like a regular simulpub or like a regular simulcast and then like release in theaters later.
Mm-hmm. Like if they're if they're not gonna like they didn't release this one in theaters here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not losing any money by releasing it to us,
Yeah, like, no, I'm just saying like
that's what I'm agreeing with you. Yeah,
no, people are saying like or people are paying for Crunchyroll anyway, so they're getting money for it regardless, right?
Hell, even do what Made in Abyss did and charge me whatever $5 or whatever to watch it.
Like I think
movie. Yeah,
I think like the theater experience, like if you want to still release in the theater, just like use it as like, experience it how it was experienced in Japan in the theater, right? Like
that reminds me of the old Star Wars re-release trailer. For a generation, millions of fans watched Star Wars the only way they could on the small screen. I don't know. It's an old trailer.
Yeah.
Just hitting
the X-Wing flies out of the TV.
Yeah. Hits you, blows up your living room. Yeah.
Anyway, certified, AniPro certified for me too. I mean, like this deserves, in my opinion.
Now,
it's
the one
accolades.
thing I've noticed here in our chart, I do have the best boys and girls that we gave written down, and I don't think Jay ever gave a best boy for this one. Is it Kyubey?
I mean,
it's kind of the only answer.
I didn't, or the by dad. The way.
Yeah.
And like it's mainly because like I didn't really like any of the boys, so like anyone I'd have to give it to would kind of be by default. Of like, well, I guess I got to give someone a boy or someone an award.
I think that's what I did as well. I kind of gave it to Kyubey, even though I'm not even sure Kyubey is male. I think it's just androgynous, to be honest with you.
I think they say he in the show.
Do they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Though, like, they're in Japan, I don't think there aren't in Japanese. There aren't any pronouns. It's just like
there is. It's Boku and
that's first person pronouns though. But like if you're referring third person pronouns, it's just des.
Oh yeah, no, just say the name.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. We're not in your Duolingo school right now.
So Jay remains no best boy for this.
Best boy.
Jay remains no best boy. Now I do want to talk about our best girls for this next one because I made us watch Girlfriend.
You did indeed.
Mm-hmm.
What did we rate these down, Mike?
Well, you made us watch Girlfriend, and you rated it a supporting character. I rated it a background character, and Jay Gardian rated it a background character.
Okay. I would definitely stand by tickles my jimmies. I mean, this show tickles my jimmies.
Oh, yeah, it does.
I love Girlfriend. It is so over the top. It is so stupid. Anything that comes after it that's trying to ape off of it is just simply an inferior imitation. I'm looking at you. 100 Girlfriends.
No, it's better.
Really, really,
you know what? I'm glad that you brought that up because now that I've watched 100 Girlfriends to completion, I'm lowering mine for this one. I what did I give it? Oh, I gave it a 3. You know what? I don't think I would have dropped it. But like when I've watched after watching Girlfriend and 100 Girlfriends, I've realized that what I really didn't like about this one is it's not crazy enough in a weird way. Cole keeps like hyping it up as like this wild, crazy ride, and it knows what it is, and it's being silly. 100 Girlfriends does it way better.
Yeah,
it knows it takes it to the nth degree, and it's great, and it's fantastic, and I can't wait for a season 2 of that. And I probably won't watch season 2 of this for what that's worth. Yeah, my best girl was the gray-haired girl, and you've assured me that she also falls for the the main character too. So we'll see.
I have assured you of this.
Yes.
So are you saying you wouldn't have watched it if it weren't for the review?
No, well, if it weren't for the review,
I thought Mike said he would have. He wouldn't have dropped it.
I wouldn't have dropped it.
Yeah, he said he wouldn't have dropped it, but he didn't say he would have started it or not.
Yeah, I probably would have. And then with these shows, they're like so like inoffensive to me, kind of, that like I just kind of finish them because it's only 12 episodes. Like, I don't think I'd drop it. Yeah. What about
Jay?
Mr. J?
I can't really say that I would continue it because I didn't continue it. But I read the manga. So I'll give it a tickles my jimmies. I think it tickles my jimmies.
I feel like reading the manga is continuing it.
Yeah. Well, no, and I mean he's saying it tickles his jimmies.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's Saki's best girl. It's not even. I mean, she's the best. She's the best. No, I love this one. And maybe you're right about the whole 100 girlfriends thing, but for me, this one still, like, it came first, and everything else that comes after it, I'm just going to always compare. And
I suspect it's like a first love kind of thing for you, maybe.
Yeah, and I think if you're comparing something to something else, then doesn't that make that initial thing superior to you?
Maybe. And it's you just kind of always consider things like based on, you always end up comparing it to the first thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. It's a tough one because it's girlfriend, but yeah,
it's good. It's great.
It's okay. It
tickles
fine.
My jimmies.
It definitely tickles your jimmies. Does not tickle mine. That's for sure.
Jay, did you like? You didn't really have any comments on this one. You kind of just.
No, I mean, it's very self-explanatory. Like, I think that it's a very typical harem rom-com, but like basically the hook is that he's with all of them.
Mm-hmm. No one loses. And so it balances it well because there's only 4 girls instead of 100.
But Gigak always says that the big intrigue of a harem anime is that it's actually a sports anime because you pick your girl and you cheer for them to the end. But you can't do that in this one.
No, because everybody wins.
Because everyone wins.
Participation medals all around.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move along now.
Yes, we only have 3 more.
We only have three remaining, and the next one was Highschool of the Dead, which of course was a listener's choice. That was our Halloween episode, I believe.
It was, yeah.
Which I told my coworkers about the podcast, and then one of them comes up to me. She's like, "Oh, I listened to one of your episodes." I'm like, "Oh, great! Which episode?" She's like, 99. I'm like, "Oh."
Great.
Oh no.
I feel like I remember you talking about that.
I like how your coworker checked it out right after we reviewed Girlfriend, and High School of the Dead back to back. It's fantastic.
That was a listener's choice. So the listeners
chose it. They chose Jay's show, the High School of the Dead.
I had more fun reviewing this one, I remember,
than actually watching it.
Maybe watching it. This one sorry, no. Before I reveal what I'd say, Mike, could you tell us?
Yep. You gave it background. I gave it a henchman, and Jay gave it a antagonist. The lowest score on our rating, but he doesn't view it that way.
I would have probably dropped this if it weren't for the review. I probably wouldn't have finished it. If I'm honest,
I think I would have continued along. I think I would have finished it. I don't think I would have dropped it, but that's just purely because it's 12 episodes. I remember. At least having a little bit of fun with it, that it kind of kept my attention at least, and that's why I wouldn't have dropped it. There was I think it maybe has even gone up a little bit in my memory bank as it's been up there.
I think the issue that I had with it was that it gets old. Its shtick gets old.
Yeah, I remember not liking that it's so the ecchi and the horror and the comedy like are so like 180 turns that it kind of just like I was kind of like reeling. I'm like, oh, falling out of my chair here.
Yeah. What did I compare this to?
I don't remember.
I kept saying like, oh, this show wishes it was, I don't know, maybe it was Sam Raimi. Like I remember saying this show wishes it was something so bad, and it isn't. I probably would have dropped it. Like I remember having fun with the first episode. No, I remember not having fun with the first episode. I remember having to be drawn in. I think I didn't really start liking it until like episode 3. And then it's kind of like a bell curve. I don't really remember liking the end that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about Jay? I know you quite enjoyed this one.
This show is terrible, but like in the most enjoyable way for me. Like kind of in the similar vein to Cole loving Girlfriend. I love this show where like it's stupid. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous. But man, is it fun.
I feel like, you were more, it was more targeted to you. Like this is more your style.
I remember Jay giving this a henchman.
No,
you gave it an antagonist.
Yeah.
Strictly out of just the spirit of it.
The spirit of like, it being kind of like an ironic enjoyment was kind of my thought. Like it's not something to watch for the sake of like getting anything of substantial value. But if you just want something to like, not even The Room, but like, what's that movie that like, comments on The Room?
I forget what it's called. I know what you're talking about with James Franco.
Yeah, but like that kind of thing where it's like you look at it and just kind of go like, this is really stupid and fun, and dumb.
Yeah, I could see that.
So with that being said, you probably wouldn't give it a Y.
I wouldn't give it a Y.
Yeah.
I'd give it it tickles my jimmies. Like I know that I would continue it if the mangaka hadn't passed away, unfortunately. But unfortunately it did happen, so I can't.
That is the way it goes. I'm surprised that no one ever kind of, when that happens, I'm surprised nobody ever kind of just like continues it.
It really depends, because like if nobody knows how it was supposed to go, then like they don't want to ruin that vision.
You don't want to be that guy who ends up like, if you do a bad job, then
I guess it's kind of a tough shoe to fill. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That, you know what, you've kind of convinced me again. Maybe I would say maybe I wouldn't have dropped it. Maybe I would have.
I think there's like enough fun here, like Jay kind of said, that like if you're, especially if like the humor is resonating with you and like the funness is resonating with you, I think that there's something here that people enjoy.
If you like Michael Bay movies, this is your thing.
Yeah. Or if you like like them ironically, this is your thing.
Yeah, I think that's maybe because I like unironically like Michael Bay movies, and maybe that's what maybe I'm just like not in on it.
That being said, no, I will keep it at I'd probably drop it strictly because we reviewed this 3 review cycles ago and I don't even remember.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, solid. Yeah. Next up though is one that I do remember. Spice and Wolf. We reviewed Spice and Wolf at Jay's request, another one of my favorites that I didn't nominate. What did we rate Spice and Wolf?
You gave it a supporting, I gave it a background, and Jay gave it a supporting. Just a slightly, I don't remember having. I remember this one. I had to take it down a few notches just because, like, it was good. I was interested in the story and I was interested where it was going, but it kind of meandered a bit. I remember being kind of bored a little bit, and then just like the animation, honestly, of it, and like the production of it really brought it down a lot for me. That I just couldn't get my heart and soul into it. I didn't enjoy it, whereas I kind of more appreciated it, and I feel like that's kind of what it is. And I remember this one got me hyped for the sequel that's coming out, or the new season, the remake. Yeah, and I have not watched season 2 yet. And I did download the light novels, but I haven't checked them out yet either. So I don't know what that says for my score. I think I'm going to keep it at that, like, it's okay. I'm going to give it I can't remember. I'm bad at remembering new things. I'd consider continuing it, but I don't know that I will. I'll watch the remake though, for sure.
Yeah, I would say having rewatched it, I would probably not give it like the seal of approval, but it definitely tickles my jimmies. It's got a place in my heart. I love Spice and Wolf. I love Holo. You guys know this.
We do.
And I am so stoked for the remake. If any of you take it in the draft, I know where you both live, and I will hurt
it's
you.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I love Spice and Wolf. I really like the story and how unique it is. I love the characters. I love that dynamic that Lawrence and Holo have. It tickles my jimmies big time.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's maybe just kind of like the facts of it. Is it'll tickle some people's jimmies, but I don't think it can be like a certified, because it's kind of just dated, really.
Yeah.
I probably would give it a supporting, but I wouldn't say it tickles my jimmies. That said, I probably will watch the remake that comes out. So
you would consider?
Yeah,
you'd consider continuing.
I'd consider continuing it, but like in the way where I'm not going to watch the second season, but more continue into the remake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It should be polished. I think that's that.
Yeah.
Even going off of what Mike said, like it's there. It just needs a fresh coat of paint.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I think our thoughts didn't change that much on it, really. Like again, these were just like the most recent reviews, and the next one is the one we just did like 2-3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough to change our opinion on it, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Spice and Wolf. Love Spice and Wolf. I also love Toradora. This was a listener's choice. Mike, what did we rate these?
You gave it a supporting. Oh, sorry. Yeah. You and I gave it supporting, and Jay gave it a background.
Supporting?
Yep.
Really?
I believe so.
Oh man, no, I'm giving it a seal
in there.
I don't know. I'm giving it a seal of approval right now. Like this.
I might have to go back and check. I'll go listen and see if you
AniPro certified from Cole.
Maybe I did. I'd give it an AniPro certified. This is, to me, one of the best romance anime. I know, like, Jay's gonna come in here and poo-poo it, saying how the romance sucks and Cole's stupid and all of that, but that's okay.
We're allowed to have different opinions, Cole.
No,
actually, no. I remember listening now, and you kind of said that you think that it's very good and that there's just better romances out there now. That's why you gave it a supporting.
I said that?
Yep. You did.
I got to go back and listen to that.
Who was that guy?
Who was that guy?
I think though the hindsight of looking back is very different from being in the moment, because like at the time you just finished the show and it's fresh in your mind, whereas like now you just look at the good bits. Right?
I feel like this is one kind of like Bubblegum Crisis, where like the boring bits kind of get lost to time and you only remember the highs, and the highs are pretty high for this one, so it definitely like ages well in your mind when you kind of forget the bits you don't like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that being said, even though we just recorded it not even a month ago, I am upping my score. Give it a seal. Give it AniPro certified from Cole. Yeah.
I'd probably also up my score. I think I'd give it a certified as well. I think it's a classic for a reason. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm fine with giving it the seal of AniPro approval. Now,
man, I'm thinking back, I'm like, I even remember commenting on how good the animation was, and I only gave it a supporting.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back in time and punch myself, because that's malarkey.
Unless I misheard, but I'm pretty sure that's what you said.
So Jake, while I was watching the show, I was really wanting to drop it. So if it weren't for the review, I would have dropped it. Yeah. Which is funny because I completed it the first time around.
No, you didn't.
Almost.
I mean, 3 minutes of playtime.
Yeah. You missed the last 3 minutes.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
I just wanted to end on a question I wanted to ask you guys.
Of course.
2 questions, actually.
I have one too.
And this kind of goes to the listeners too, but is there like any dream reviews, or is there any like, there's 2 parts to this. Is there a dream review? And is there like a review that you're scared to bring up, but you've thought about a bunch?
Both would be March Comes In Like a Lion.
Yeah. It'd be tough to do that because it's long, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, hey, man, these are the dream reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to do more movies as well. Like, I'd like to do, I just watched The Wind Rises, which is the Ghibli movie that came out just before Boy and the Heron. And I'd still say Boy and the Heron's probably Miyazaki's best film, but The Wind Rises is probably my favorite one.
I kind of echo that. I kind of think I'd like to do more movie reviews, but I think I'd like to do them in like the way we do our manga reviews, kind of. Maybe like not a full in-depth thing like we do for these reviews, maybe because I don't think there's as much meat on them.
Well, I mean, it depends on the movie. I would like to do some Miyazaki reviews because Jay's got to see more. Like Princess Mononoke.
That's the one I'd want to see. Because I feel like that's the one I'd enjoy the most. But like I want to also branch out from Ghibli and Miyazaki. Like I want to see I'd love to review Wolf Children. I'd love to review Josie and the whatever. Josie and the Tigerfish.
That's great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah. I really want to watch that movie. I'd love to watch The Boy and the Beast.
There's a lot of good anime. Honestly, I like movies. There's a lot of good anime movies.
Yeah.
Probably the one that I've really thought about making us review if we can figure out how to get movies into this review pattern here that we got going on is I really want us to review some Shinkai films. I really want to review Your Name. I think that'd be an interesting one to do because everyone holds it very highly, but I think a lot of people don't rewatch it very often. And I'm curious to see how it holds up.
I'd like to do the one he did before Your Name, the one he did before Your Name. What's it called?
The one Time?
No, that's not Shinkai.
Okay.
And the one with the shoemaker. Hold on. Stall for me.
No, we're gonna sit here in silence while Jay has to look this up.
Another one another one I would like to get Mike specifically to watch, but I mean, of course, Jay too, because there's three of us. But Mike is famously has always said that Ghost in the Shell is not good.
I don't say it's not good. I say it's boring.
Yeah. I would like to do Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Okay.
I feel like that one's more action packed, and you'd probably get more out of it. So that I'll throw that on the list too. That would be fun.
I'd like to do. I found the name. The Garden of Words.
Garden of Words.
Yeah.
Oh, the foot fetish one.
Sure.
That'd be an easy review. I think it's only like 45
minutes. Yeah. I remember reading the manga and liking it. So.
Yeah, I bet you did.
And then what ones are you guys scared of? Other than March Comes In Like a Lion.
Like a Lion.
I feel like it's like for fears, probably just like, and I think Cole and I agree on the sentiment. Just watching our favorite anime for reviews, because
it's hard to watch one of your favorite things get kind of torn apart.
Yeah. I mean, Toradora was a rough one.
Yeah. Jay, you had a question too, I think.
Yeah, you didn't answer.
Oh, was I supposed to answer? I don't have any that I'm scared of. I'd like to review like some more Trigger. I really enjoy Trigger. Trigger and like some more movies is really my answer for what I want to review.
Yeah. And just kind of jumping off Mike's questions, out of the reviews we did, which one was your favorite and which one was your least favorite to do, both to watch and to talk about?
Why don't we include one more in there? What's the middest one? What's the best? What's the middest? And what's the champion? The middest and the worst.
The best review, the one I had the most fun with, was Grand Blue.
Okay.
The one I had the least fun with, probably Charlotte.
Okay.
And the middest one, High School of the Dead. It's kind of meh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Mike.
So I would say for me, the best one for sure was Oddtaxi. Just because I think we had a lot of fun with Grand Blue, but I think Oddtaxi, I enjoy
Oh, Oddtaxi was the best one.
Yeah, and we had a really good discussion on Oddtaxi too, and I really appreciate. I think that was probably my favorite review of this year. And the one I didn't like the most for sure would be, High School of the Dead was a fun discussion, and the review of it kind of saved it a bit for me because it was fun to talk about more than it was fun to watch. I think the one that probably I didn't like the most is maybe Guilty Crown, if I had to pick one. And then the middest, let's give it to Bubblegum Crisis. Yeah.
Jay?
I'd say the best one for me was Guilty Crown. Just like, I just remember the spoiler-filled section, us just like ripping it apart. Yeah. That was so much fun. The worst, I'd probably say, just looking at the reviews here, I'd say And Yet the Town Moves. Just because like it feels like it was the most forgettable one out of the bunch. Yeah. And then the middest, I'd probably say Barakamon. Honestly, like it was a good show, but like it's kind of like that one where like you won't remember it as vividly maybe, but like it, like if someone asks you like, oh, what are your top 10 favorite shows, it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That checks out.
But like if you're like, oh, what's a show that you watched recently that was good, and Barakamon was one.
I feel like it's not hateable, so that's why it's very mid. Yeah,
it's like the song Jessie's Girl. Everybody likes the song, but it's nobody's favorite song.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Mike's favorite song.
It's my favorite song. Talking about Jessie's Girl. Do
you guys have any other questions? I didn't know we were supposed to come with questions, so I don't have.
No, it kind of came organically to my brain. I might change my middest to Charlotte actually too. I don't know. We'll see. It's flexible, whatever.
I should
to our next review though.
I should specify. Let me defend myself. Oddtaxi was the best show we reviewed this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd say the best show for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Grand Blue, I just fondly remember having a blast.
Yep.
With that one.
The actual review process definitely factors into your enjoyment here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it was a fun show. I liked watching it. Our next review, though, is Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, which is next week.
Next week.
Gotta get on watching it.
And
so do you, the listener.
I'm going to watch the whole thing in the toilet. To really
in the toilet, not on the toilet.
Vibe. No, in
climb
the toilet. Get in there. Yeah.
Are you going to be toilet bound for the next week?
I'm going to be toilet bound for the next week. I'm going to eat some bad fish and just be toilet bound.
That's good. Yes. Good.
Yes.
That brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Anime Protagonist Podcast. You can leave a like, review, subscribe, give us 5 stars. Leave a like. Tell a friend about us, please. And come to our Discord. Links to everything is at our website, AniProPod.com. Our Discord, we should specify. You can do things like watch parties, games, chat, etc. We got lots of fun stuff going on there.
It's also like the place where we interact the most with our listeners and stuff and our community, and like our seasonal awards will be posted there already by the time you hear this, and like you'll be able to like contribute to them
Yeah, Mike just reminded me as well. Normally we would, if you go and look, all of our awards are ready to be voted on. And you're probably wondering, why aren't they announcing their nominees? Because we have 12 nominees in each category. and like we don't have time
have like
to
16
do that.
Categories.
Yeah. Basically, our nominees are our winners from our seasonal awards. So that's where they come from, and that's why there's so many. So
they're all posted in the Discord, on our website, and probably our social medias as well. So
and also probably in the description of this video.
Yeah, probably, links to vote everywhere. Go vote. Help us out. Help us award awards to these shows that are deserving of these awards.
Yeah.
Now let me continue. If you really like us, you'll also get an extra vote here. You can support us on Patreon. You get an early episode, bonus episode. You get an extra vote for things. See, I said that. There's special chat on our Discord as well, priority mailbags, etc. You also get your name read by me every week. Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Braindead B-Dog, Super Mexi, Peach, Frama, Crawtoast, and Just Juzz. Thank you all for supporting us. We appreciate it big time. Big Lee. We appreciate it bigly.
You're the bomb diggity.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's it for this week. So why don't... You know what? I'm going to take it out this week.
Yeah, you take it out.
Listen.
You're wearing your fancy shirt. Let's go.
I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt. It's the end of the episode. We're going to say, as we do at the end of every episode of the Anime Protagonist podcast, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.